Good evening, YouTube. Back with another one. Not actually heard of this channel before. This is Patience Xena, I think she's called. I believe that's how you're going to pronounce that. I'm going to give her a subscribe while I'm here. Brits are fighting back Operation Raise the Colours. I'm going to get straight into this. She's got quite a few subscribers. I'm surprised I've not heard of her before, so it'll be quite interesting.
Is brewing in England, and no, it's not tea. There seems to be a resistance that's currently happening at the moment. Many people who have felt very alienated and ostracized, they've started to show some resistance, they've started to rebel against this. And so we've seen over here in England a lot of national flags, so the St. George's flag and the British flag, being plastered everywhere and anywhere. Now, to some of you who live in normal countries where things make sense, you might hear that and think, okay, Patience, so people are putting up their national flags. Why is this newsworthy? And that is a normal response, but we don't live in a country where things make sense. So I'll explain to you some context to understand why people putting up their national flag has been such a big deal. So for many years...
Yeah, I mean, I won't spoil it, but what I'll just say, it must seem bizarre from anybody who's watching this from a different country, why it might seem weird that it's a contentious issue to fly your own flag in your own country. And don't get me wrong, I think it's weird that we've got to this stage where it has become a contentious issue. I don't actually fully understand it. All I can presume my glimpse of it is that the sort of extreme left, the extreme left sort of elements in Britain associate it with, with Hitler and Mussolini, along with like countries that were trying to push their nationality to the forefront of their push to power, and that's maybe the only reason I can put to it. But then that means that if you're going to use that same argument, nobody can like their flags ever in the world that wants to put their own people first. And I know that from many other poorer countries, it's just perfectly normal to put your own people first. But for some reason in Britain, the dynamic is flipped, and now we are essentially put last, especially as a man as well. Really are the bottom of the pyramid now. Hardest to find jobs, etc. Nothing to really sort of help us if we fall on hard times compared to some of the other sectors of society. It's just kind of bred contempt. I think I might have actually spoiled what she was going to say, but we'll see what she has to say.
In England, the St. George's flag in particular has been very, very heavily stigmatized. Many people associate it with the far right, they associate it with racism, they associate it with ethno-nationalism and all this kind of stuff.
To be honest, the English flag isn't just a symbol.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, not only would you describe Hitler and Mussolini as fascists, but they are obviously ethno-nationalists as well. And I don't know if I should have actually said the H word. I don't know if YouTube stops. It doesn't push out your video that much if you use that word, I think. That's why people say the painter from Austria a lot of the time in videos. I hadn't thought that through before I said it, but I'll continue now anyway.
Of racism. It may be the primary symbol of racism in this country because of how it's been adopted and co-opted by the far right.
And so because of these associations, a lot of people started to say that the St. George's flag is a symbol of racism and white supremacy, etc. So it got very, very stigmatized to the point where you didn't really see it very much anymore. More recently, so we've also started to see the Union Jack flag, which was...
I will just say that the town where I live, there's a Union Jack just, I don't know, in the town centre, which is a 5-minute walk away from me. I'm not going to say what my village is, but yeah, there is one where I am, and has been for quite a while. But that might have only happened in like the last 2 years or so since they remodeled the town centre.
Before seen as the more neutral alternative to the St. George's flag. It didn't have anywhere near the same amount of stigma as the St. George's flag. However, as time has gone on, for some reason, that stigma has slowly started to affect the Union Jack flag, which is why we saw the story of the young girl who was punished for going to school dressed up in her Union Jack dress.
For Diversity Day, Year 7 student Courtney Wright wore this Spice Girls style British flag outfit to Bilton School in Warwickshire. What a great idea. I mean, after all, the school's flyer urged the students to wear attire reflecting their family's nationality and heritage. But you guessed it, being proud of your British heritage wasn't good enough, and 12-year-old Courtney was sent home.
First teacher I
And it is a bit crazy because I don't want to put shade on any Australians, Canadians, anybody else, because you can't help being born in your country either. So it's not as if you are actually a colonizer. But like we in Britain, like us that are here, our ancestors legitimately never left the island. We should be able to celebrate our culture. Like our ancestors, in most cases, will not have left the island and then gone to these other countries as part of the military or East India Company or anything else to be able to, ever come in contact with other people. And yet we are we are also similarly shamed. And so I feel, it's weird for us, but it must be harsh being in sort of Australia, Canada, etc. United States being as that, your ancestors didn't originally come from there as well. So I mean, it's weird. I see it from your perspective, but it's also different as well. Like you have your own way of arguing this point, but we also have to have our own way of arguing this point because we legitimately can't trace our ancestry back beyond, people who first originally came here, like the sort of Celts, of which people like me, like I do have Celtic ancestry. At all. Yeah, so I have Celtic ancestry. Some of my ancestors were originally on the island as well. So, it's a complicated one.
So, she straight away just took me to go get changed. She didn't want to hear about my dress or see it. She just straight away wanted to get changed and not be in it. Another teacher tried to stop me and said that you can't be in that, it's your nationality and not your culture.
So that's kind of where we're at over here when it comes to...
Wait. Nationality and culture is the same thing. Like, they are related, sorry. They're not the same thing. But they are linked together. The nation is linked to being a part of a country, part of a ethnicity, sorry. Your ethnicity is tied to the nation. Not so same with the country. A country can have many ethnicities within inside it. Culture is directly related to nationality, because nationalities are ethnicities are what you would brace down beyond further by using culture as the what makes an ethnicity different from another ethnicity, and then those ethnicities make nations. And at least that's how it works here in England, in the United Kingdom. Sorry, there might be other countries out there that are separate, but in England the United Kingdom in generally, that's how it works.
The national flags, well, that's the reason why it's seen as a big statement that many people across the country are putting the St. George's flag and the Union Jack flag everywhere on the street. So now that you have that context, I will explain to you why we even got here in the first place in terms of why people started putting the flags all over the street. So basically this whole thing kicked off with Birmingham Council, who announced that they would be removing any banners or flags that were being held up on any public lampposts, because they said that they wanted to upgrade the lights to LED lights, and so because of safety concerns they were going to be taking down any banners or any flags from the lampposts so that they could change the lights. So initially they said they were going to be taking down all banners and flags. They weren't very specific about which ones. They just said they'll be taking down banners and flags. And so it was the understanding of many that they would be taking down all of the flags. So the British flags, the Palestinian flags, because there were some people who put up the Palestinian flag.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's got to be one rule for everybody. Can't just be some flags are allowed and some aren't. That's what has become the issue, I believe. And we're just seeing like lots of other flags are not our own that much. Maybe in other parts of the country at least. Like I say, there's one flag near me, and town where I am, I don't see too many foreign flags. But you only have to go to other towns and cities in the United Kingdom, and it's definitely an issue. So, I am sort of potentially lucky, but also a marginal outlier, I would say, in this sort of argument.
Within Birmingham to show support to Palestine, and they also said they would be taking down any other flags, pride flags, whatever. If there was a flag up, the idea was they'd all be coming down. However, things kind of started to get a bit tricky when people started noticing that there was actually a double standard in terms of the flags that were being removed.
Yeah, people noticing things you're not allowed to notice.
Removed and taken down, because for some reason a lot of the British flags were being removed, however the Palestinian flags were staying up. And then an email, I believe, was leaked in which they found that The council had stated they were too scared, essentially, to take down the Palestinian flags without police support because they were scared of a retaliation. I assume a violent retaliation was why they were concerned, because if it was just a simple verbal or a vocal retaliation, I don't think they would have cared too much. So because they were fearful of a violent retaliation, they basically decided that they were only going to take down the national flag. However, because of a lot of the double standards and stuff that have been going on within Britain, a lot of people didn't take this very well, as I'm sure you can imagine. So a lot of people interpreted this as an attack on Britishness as well as a blatant double standard. And so this naturally riled up a lot of people. And that's how we get to this movement that is currently happening called Operation Raise the Colours, where in response to what Birmingham Council were doing, a lot of people then decided that they were going to put the British flags, which were the Union Jack flag and the St. George's flag, all over the streets, on public lampposts, public buildings, everywhere they could. We had people even painting them on mini.
Yeah, today I've seen the image of where somebody's painted one on the back of a speed camera. It's like people are really trying to find anywhere and everywhere that they can to paint them at the moment. And not only that, I bet the DIY shops, or what Americans will call a hardware store, I bet they are running out of red and white paint, to be honest, especially red, obviously, since how easy it is to do this.
Roundabouts, anywhere they could possibly put up a national flag, they were putting up the national flag. The councils were trying to take them down, but this movement, people are so persistent with this that they've sworn that even if they get taken down, they're going to continue to keep putting the flags back up. So that's currently where we're at the moment. Now, further fuel was added to the fire when the mayor of Tower Hamlets declared that all of the Union Jack flags and the St. George's flags that had been put up by the protesters were to be removed immediately. Now, a lot of people were not happy about that because of the fact that the mayor had allowed the Palestinian flags to have remained up for months.
How can you not be proud of that flag? Do you know what? I live in Tower Hamlets, right? And a few months ago, everyone was putting up Palestine flags all round Tower Hamlets. Tower Hamlets Council left those Palestine flags up for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? Couldn't say nothing because you're going to be classed as racist. So people put these flags up Saturday, all round Tower Hamlets. Within 24 hours, Tower Hamlets Council took all these flags down, leaving up the Palestine flags.
So there's multiple aspects to this protest. One of the aspects is, of course, people protesting double standards because people don't feel as though they are equal under the law just based on the treatment that they've been receiving. There's also...
I don't know if I might just skip through so because I'm quite aware of a lot of stuff. I don't know how much extra I can add to what she's been saying. So I'll continue from here anyway.
They also...
sorry, the link will be in the description. If you want to watch this entirely on your own, especially without me banging on.
Are proud of this country, and they also want to show love for the country, because not everybody who has a darker skin tone takes issue with this movement. Because to be honest with you, for many people, including myself, we have no problem with people showing pride in Britain because we also love Britain.
I think they should have kept it up, innit? If you're in this country, yeah, you know what I mean, you should keep their flag up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they try to paint it as being a white supremacist thing when it's not, especially with the Union flag. Many people moved here, their mums and fathers and etc. moved here because they wanted to be part of Britain. They liked culture, the manners, the food, despite what jokes everybody likes to make. We have a good culture here and they wanted to be part of it. And, people now, the sort of middle class, leftist, university educated brats, and I'm not trying to diss people who've been to university, I've been to university as well, so that's why I know exactly what these people are like, trying to ruin it for these people as well that also might want to be British. And I think I've seen some clips, where some said that they hadn't really thought about it until all this happened, and now now that they're sort of being almost made to choose a side, they're being like, no, screw you, I'm going to be proud of the country that I'm in, thank you very much.
that it's meant to be.
When you see the Union Jack or the St George's Cross, which is the flag of England, do you feel proud of those flags? Do you like seeing them, or
I love seeing them.
you like seeing them?
Yeah,
Yeah. So do you think the council should have let those flags stay up on those lampposts?
of course.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
They should have left it to stay there because it's okay. It's a pride for everyone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no means to remove the flags. It's okay.
Yeah. And do you when you see the British flag, the Union Jack, or the St George's Cross, do you feel proud of those flags, proud of our country?
Yeah, it's okay. Everyone's flag is a pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
You had the Union Jack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I've had this conversation with people in this country. You know, when I've worked in like warehouses or call centres with people that weren't born in this country, right? And I've asked them like sort of questions about like, do you think people should be proud of the country? And like, do you think British people should be proud of the country? And they're always like, yeah. If anything, they think it's a bit cringe when people aren't proud of their country. It seems bizarre to them. They're like, what? Why wouldn't you be proud of your country? Because it's your home. And like, yeah, it is. You're maybe like lucky, unlucky, maybe where you are born, but it's still your home. It's like your mum. You've got to be proud of your mum. You didn't choose your mum, just like you didn't choose where you were born. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You've got to be proud of it. Warts and all. You know what I mean? So that's probably why some of them in the sort of other countries that I don't like too much, which I won't name, they're proud of their country. It makes sense, but for some reason we in the West, we're so morally righteous, we think we can shit on our own country and it's not going to have repercussions.
Flag got taken down at St George's Cross. What do you think about that?
Union flag.
Yeah, that's right.
Why?
It got taken down by the council.
Why?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Are you exactly? Are you?
See, like genuine organic interaction. Like, yeah, that's almost swore then. That's weird.
Are you proud of our flag?
No, obviously I'm proud of that flag. Yeah.
Brilliant. Me too. Well, the Union Jack and the
Yeah,
St
of
George's
course,
Cross.
of course.
Yeah. So you think Tower Hamlets Council were wrong to take it down?
Yeah, they are wrong. Yeah.
I think so
they
too.
Should, whoever did that, they should take action against them.
Yeah.
They were taking them down.
They took them down. Yeah.
Why?
See, even then, like, you know, he said like should take action against him as well. It obviously means like democratic action. He doesn't mean anything untoward. But yeah, that's how they deal. That's what they would do in other countries. They would make sure that they know. But I suppose politicians in our country are just so cordoned off and hard to get to. Although I think, but my local MP, I could maybe potentially go talk to him, but I don't really want to be honest.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I think they should let them stay up. It's our national flag, isn't it?
They should be taking down the flag of the British flag.
They
should be taking down any flag.
No.
I think they're crazy. Okay. I think that's out of order, and I think that's irrational.
If you go anywhere else, they will proudly display their flags everywhere, all over their hotels, all over their airport. They'll plaster their flags on the t-shirts and the items that they'll sell to tourists, because that's how it's supposed to be. You know, if I go to Japan, I want to see loads of Japanese flags, and I want to see Japan showing pride in their Japanese culture and showing pride in their flag. I feel like what we do over here in this country, where we have all these flags of all these other nations, is just not normal. Like, when you go to other countries, you don't see this kind of stuff anywhere near to the same degree. And I do think it's really strange.
Yeah, and I'm not saying people shouldn't be able to fly their own flag. I mean, it'd be nice if I went and lived in another country, if maybe like for certain events, if I could fly my own flag and the locals wouldn't give me grief, that'd be nice. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not saying that we shouldn't allow anybody flying any other flags. It's just is like she said, the ratio is off.
To demand that a country not put up its national flags. Who else would tolerate that? No one else would tolerate that. I don't personally see this as a racist or a racial movement, because you don't have to be white to love this country. You don't have to be white to have pride in the flag. And so to me, what...
Exactly. Like, even, like, say Mo Farah. Like, I'm not... Was he born here? I can't remember. I did a movie here when he was really young. I can't remember with Mo Farah. But he's, like, proud to be British. He's always trying to get involved with anything. I mean, I think he lives abroad now. He's left the country because it's got really bad here. Obviously. But, you know, then there's many more I could mention who aren't white that are proud to be British.
I see as a group of people coming together to say, no, we're not going to be made to feel ashamed of this country because we care about this country. And no, we're not going to be made to feel shame for having pride in the national flag. Obviously, some people have issues with it for their own.
Yeah, I mean, how selfish is it to try and rob individuals such as her and the others that have been featured of their nationality just because of something that happened hundreds of years ago? From your perspective, you perceive to be wrong, that nobody alive now has any part to do with. If anything, right, most people such as myself were actually part of getting rid of bad things in the world, such as slavery. Like the fees that we paid, that the British paid. Countries such as Spain, Portugal, etc., were only just paid off in 2016. So my tax money has helped to stop slavery being normal. And I know people always like to say that slavery still exists, etc., but I think we can all agree that it's not the same world that we used to live in, where slavery was normal, and now it's not normal, and that's because of Great Britain. And I'm going to keep saying this all the time because it's true, and it gets unacknowledged, and we get shamed for it, even though we were the solution and not the problem.
Personal reasons or whatever, but at the end of the day, like I said, if you choose to live in England, you should expect to see the English flag. You should expect to see the British flag. So that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, all these leftists, I mean, they could just sort of live somewhere else if they really don't want to. I don't get what their big issue is. You know what I mean? They have a British passport. They can pretty much go anywhere in the world that they want without hindrance. Not if they say they came from, I don't want to pour shade on other countries, but say I'm sure say Kazakhstan, I'm sure maybe that's a bad example, but I'm sure they have a very weak passport. The British passport is joint 8th or joint 6th or something in the world. It's one of the most powerful passports. There's only a handful of countries we can't go to, and there's many, the vast majority we can go to without a visa for anywhere up to 30 days, and in some cases up to 3 months, I believe. It's completely cockamamie.
On this, I'm pro-patriotism. I think people should be patriotic. I don't really like the idea that some people are trying to turn this into a racist thing. I don't really agree with that, because I think ultimately at the end of the day, the two sides when it comes to this argument are the people who love this country and are patriotic, and the people who hate this country and aren't patriotic. They don't desire to try and preserve this country's culture. They seek to change it, destroy it.
Just leave then. You know what I mean? There's so many other better countries to go to. They'll have I don't know, countries like Sweden, or maybe they're like Japan. Piss off there then. You can go. Nobody's stopping you.
And build something new. And the people who are in that camp also come in different shades and also come from different ethnic backgrounds. And at the same time, the people who love this country, who are loyal to it, who want to see it thrive and want to preserve its culture and want to show pride in the flag, they also come in different shades and come in different backgrounds. So I don't really see this as a racial thing. To me, it's more of a who loves this country and wants to preserve its culture and wants to be patriotic versus who doesn't and who wants to change it and replace it with something different. To me, those are the two sides. It's not a racial divide. It's more of a cultural ethos divide. We have different visions of what we want this country to be. Some people want to completely destroy it, replace it with something new. Some people want to try and preserve it, and they have pride in what this country has been. So those are the two sides for me. So the people who keep trying to make this a racial thing, I don't really see it. But that is kind of the gist of what's happening at the moment with this whole Operation Raise the Colours. That is really all for this.
I mean, I'd not actually maybe fully conceived it in that way until she just said it, that there is potentially just two sides, people who love the country and people who don't. And I've just kind of come to the conclusion now that there will become a point, and again, I'm going to say this because I've said it in every video, I think, I don't want a civil war, this isn't a call to action, but there'll be two groups of people, right? There's going to be those that love their country and don't, and then those that love their country are going to tell those that don't to leave, and then those that, there will be some that do leave, and then there's going to be some that don't. Then those that don't will be forced to leave, and then can't be forced to leave, something else more drastic will happen to them. But that's not me calling for action. That is just me making a projection of what will happen should things continue down this path. Because the government need to respond and start doing something to make the populace happy. Otherwise, it's put it this way: it's not my neck that's on the chopping block here, and signs are evident things will head in that direction should the government not course correct. So if you are listening to this, anybody that's part of the state, you should be thinking about how you can avert what's going to happen. And that And even if you came for me and put me in jail, that would make things worse. Like I say, this isn't a call for action. I'm saying not to do it. I'm saying nobody should do anything drastic. I'm just saying it's inevitable should you continue this. I just want to make that very clear.
This video, I would really like to know what your thoughts are on all of this. Do you agree that this is just a patriotic movement?
All right. Anyway, so the link for this will be in the description. Yeah, it's been a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.